And now, to fizz up your flat day, it's the Bev Buds Podcast.
Good morning, afternoon, or evening.
My name is Trent Redden, and welcome to the grand show
The
of...
Bev Buds Podcast. With me, I have Daniel Gregg, alright.
And introducing Trent Redden again. There we go.
Is that how we're going to start it? What do you want me to do here?
Do it. I don't know.
Your choice.
Good morning, afternoon, or evening, whatever time you're listening and wherever you're listening from. This is the Bev Buds. As always, I'm your host, Trent Redden.
I'm tired. I'm Dan.
Hi, tired. I'm Kyle.
And this is the Bev Buds.
And this is the Bev. It is. Now, we're having a special podcast today.
Yes.
In the morning, because you guys had a sleepover last night.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
a sleepover, fun
Yes.
sleepover. We had pillow fights. We had... What else did we have?
So our Bev of the week is actually a Lavazza coffee.
Well, I didn't get one.
Dan, you
a dry July, if you like.
Exactly, but
Do I get an orange slice instead?
so you get more orange. Like, give me I've got to tell people what you did after the podcast last week. So we're walking up, and Dan's got like the chopping board with the oranges and the alcohol on it. And I go, Dan, can you carry this up to the house? He's like, yeah, sure. And I'm downstairs still doing something.
And you went like, don't drop it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to drop it.
Yeah, I go up to the house, you're like, I dropped it. It's just like all the sugar syrup's gone. The cherry jar has like no liquid in it, there's no cherries. I just imagine you just completely like flung it somewhere.
It was only a gentle drop, but like, yeah, ruined everything.
It ruined everything. So yeah, last night we had a little boys' night. A little
Bit of a throwback.
bit of a throwback. We had just the boys, and we had a barbecue and played video games, which was fun.
We had like, what, 8 TV?
5 TVs.
5 TVs.
6. Oh no, 5.
5, yeah. 5 TVs and 5 Xboxes. We played Nazi Zombies and...
Just after, while you guys were complaining about your electricity bill being so high.
That's true.
If I think about it, was just a giant hot box there in there. 'Cause it was fan.
It was fun though. There's something like fun about doing that sort of stuff. I think it's got a nostalgic thing to it. Like, I found it really funny though, because the game we played Far Cry Predator, which is...
And Call of Duty.
And Call of Duty. But the Far Cry game was 2005, 2006 it came out. And there was some guy online who joined our game.
Our random custom game, yeah.
And I just can't believe that there's still someone out there actively playing it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it was a bit weird. So how are you today, Dean? I'll drive the conversation if you want. I already talked about you dropping stuff after the pod, so I can't talk about that.
Take the wheel, Carl.
I want to ask you, Dan, what's the dumbest injury you've ever given yourself?
Dumbest injury I've ever given myself. Well, I've got my hand stabbed with a thermometer in a pool once.
What?
Yeah, you remember I got a scar on my hand from it.
No?
Yeah.
What do you mean a thermometer? Like a bubble thermometer?
Yeah, my dad's mate, his dog was chewing on the pool thermometer, you know, like check the temperature of the pool. And it turned into basically a knife's edge, and he went like, this be fine to put in the pool still.
I want to cut you.
And like when I was swimming, because I was like 12 at the time.
I do not remember
and like
this.
just swimming and just smacking my hand into the pool.
Yeah.
And like I had to get like I think 8 stitches.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Did I generally?
Like that's
wow.
Yeah, I full like stabbed myself, but like I've done like I've done a few injuries to myself. Fractured my hand tripping over.
That's right, yeah.
The horse thing.
Oh, that was like...
Oh, that wasn't like... you didn't do that to yourself, though, I guess.
The horse dragged me on the ground.
Yeah.
I had a horse that... when I was like... Oh, God, I was 11. That freaked out, must have seen a snake or something like that I was on. And I tried to jump off, and... my leg got stuck in the stirrup.
Well, I didn't know you tried to jump off. So,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it like threw you off or something.
No, I tried to get off.
Oh, okay.
And my leg got stuck in the stirrup. and this is all gravel.
Yeah.
And my face just
Tasty gravel.
gobbled up that gravel.
I do remember that.
And then like, I remember as well, I'm 95% sure as well, because after I got up, I was touching my face and people were running over to me, and I grabbed my nose, and I heard nothing but cracking. So
Okay.
I'm not sure if it was just a cartilage or something like cracking around my
back.
nose.
Yeah, okay.
My nose wasn't broken.
Was it bleeding?
No, my face was like
yeah.
really bad.
Okay.
And like I ended up, people came over my parents are freaking out, and the woman who owned the horse like, all right, we'll get back on the horse. I'm like, no way am I getting on that goddamn horse again.
What about you, Trent? What's the dumbest injury you've ever given yourself?
I don't really know. To be honest, I haven't injured myself on a regular basis like Daniel.
Your worst one's got to be when you were out of action for like 8 months.
Well, that's right, and like you know, it's quite.
What did you do?
Well,
You
it's
cut your
quite.
leg, right?
Yeah, so I tore my ACL back in 2016, but I did it while playing indoor soccer.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like
A proud moment.
no, that 100% no.
Actually, I can think of a good injury that I did.
What?
Wait, do you have anything else to say about that?
No.
Like, all right, it's more stupid in the way like my parents laugh at it about it still. When I was like 8, I had like a scooter. And like, you know when you're a kid, your parents are like, oh, you gotta do it like this. Like, I know what I'm doing. That whole bullshit.
What did you do? You ate shit, didn't you?
Like, so like, I was with my street. There's a little hill that you go down. I'm like doing that a few times.
Okay.
And for some reason, my stupid mind, the first time I was going down it, you know, like when you're on a scooter,
Yeah.
you stop by putting, like, you'd ruin your shoes, but like you'd put your foot out to the side.
And just like scrape your shoe along the ground.
Well, I thought instead of you just put your right foot to the right side of the scooter. I thought, hey, what would happen if I put my right foot to the left side?
Oh, why would you do that?
To stop?
So you just stacked it.
So I completely just flung off.
Yeah, no, but going back to you were out of action for a long time with that injury that you did, Trent. And I remember
It was pretty sad when you go and see the specialist surgeon or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's basically tells you were better off breaking your leg.
Yeah.
Like, you would have been better off.
Well, because I remember, do you remember, Dan, we went over to Trent's house? I think we were going to record something. And he had these crutches, and you had like a plastic bag tied to it with like your phone, your supplies, like so you walk around and like set yourself up for the day with wherever you sit.
What about you, Kyle?
Mine's got to be, you guys both know about my finger, but I'll tell the story. So I've got like a scar on my pinky finger.
It still doesn't look right either.
No, well, basically on my left pinky finger, I started a job doing like before after school care. I was about 2 or 3 months into it, and it was like a really cold. It was a cold afternoon, like really crisp.
Blame it on the weather.
I'm setting the atmosphere. I'm setting the tone. So it was a cold afternoon, and I was doing like yard duty outside, just watching all the kids play or whatever.
Pick up rubbish.
So someone kicked the footy, and I saw it on like my peripheral, and I just put my hand up, and it whacked my pinky like back,
Yeah.
and I thought, oh, that hurt, but all it felt like was a jar, you know, when you just like, or like, you know,
Just
in the
goes
cold,
numb for a little bit or something.
you know, in the cold, if you're kicking a footy and you catch it on like the tips of your finger, it kind of just hurts a little bit. Just felt like that. I threw it back to him, and I was just walking around for like five minutes, and I had my hands in my pocket because it was so cold, and then I'm like, boy, this really hurts still. Like, what's going on? And I look down, and like my fingers just cracked completely out at it, and I'm just like, I'm looking at it, I'm like, this isn't gonna fix itself.
It changed colour, didn't it?
No, not at the start.
Oh, I thought it changed colour too.
No, and it was just cracked like out. Like it looked horrific. It was more like a visual horrific thing than it. The pain wasn't that bad at that point because it was just done.
Yeah.
Anyway, I go inside and I tell my boss, and I'm like, I showed them, and they go like pale, and I'm like, I just did this, and they're like, okay, sit down. And they look at it and they're like, all right, you need to go to the hospital. Thankfully, the hospital was literally down the street, like 10 buildings away. I just had to get in my car and like drive down to it. But I had to wait for someone to come and cover me because you can't leave kids unattended. So I'm sitting there. I was like, but I had my eyes back and I'm just sitting there, and this person took like 40 minutes. Anyway, I get in my car. I drove myself to the hospital. And I showed
Such a brave man.
I was. I thought I was. And I showed the reception lady my thing, and she went pale as well. And she's like, "You need to go to the ER, not the reception." So I had to like walk through the hospital, went to the ER, showed the lady there, and she's like, "Okay, we're gonna sort this out." And I got scanned and everything, and she's like, yeah, you're going to need surgery.
Jeez,
anyway,
that's unreal, isn't it?
Oh, it was just like the littlest injury. And then I had to go...
What was the surgery for? Like, what did they do?
So basically, it broke at the bone, not at the joint. And so it was going to keep sliding down.
Yeah, okay.
It was never going to heal.
Yeah.
Even if they put it back and put it in a cast, it will always slide down and never heal. So I had to get a little bit of rod in between it. Yeah. So I had to go to the bloody... The Alfred, the one in St Kilda. Yeah. And I had to get put under... knocked out, everything, the whole shebang.
That's crazy.
And it was like, couldn't use my hand for like months. I think I've gotten, the most I'll ever get back is like 94% movement in it. So it's never going to be good again.
Nah.
And the most unsatisfying, I can crackle my knuckles just by doing that.
But that
one doesn't crack.
Oh,
It's
no.
really unsatisfying.
Right,
But,
here's something though. This is the funny part for me. Your rehab afterwards.
Oh, that rehab was the worst bit because I had my stitches in, right? And with like joints and stuff and like fingers and toes and all that sort of stuff, you got to go rehab almost straight away after surgery because they sever nerves to get to the bone. So if you're not doing rehab, you're not moving it, the nerves don't reattach and you just won't be able to move it in the future.
Yeah.
So after surgery, like I think it was the next day, I go back there and this lady's poking and prodding and making me bend my broken finger, and like it was just the most
horrific,
excruciating pain I've ever had.
Yeah.
Fun times. Good morning.
Since we're on horrific things, I found out something really interesting that I didn't know was a thing. Because do you know people still use leeches for medicine for?
Do they?
Yeah.
It's just like weird, like people that don't want to use like actual medicine, right?
No, it's the weirdest
Yeah,
one.
I feel like, they do, don't they?
Yeah?
But like of all the ones, it's used for when people chop off a finger by accident.
Oh, and they put leeches on the end.
Yeah, because say like I chop my index finger off and they reattach it. The only few ways to get it back normal again, well, make sure, because if it's not working, they put leeches at the tip of your finger because when they're sucking the blood out, they're moving the blood through your finger again to get movement back in. It's getting the veins and everything in your finger working again because
that's pretty cool.
It's pushing all the blood back up to try and get finger movement.
Yeah, right.
But apparently it's like super expensive because leeches are really expensive because they have to be like specifically bred.
Yeah.
Okay.
They could just grab one from the wild and put it on you.
No.
Have you guys
ever had a leech on you?
No, thank God. I haven't.
I did once when I was about 6. I was at the farm with Dad, and I was just walking through like underbrush, and I get back in the car, and there's a leech. It wasn't even on my skin; it was on my trackies, and I freaked out
because Dad had to terrifying.
Dad had to burn it off, so he had like a lighter, and he's like, and I just remember being terrified of them.
Yeah.
But
let me burn you. It's okay.
So I wanted to ask you guys as well, because I learnt this week, and I was just shocked by it. Do you guys make your own playlists, or do you listen to pre-made playlists on Spotify or Apple Music or whatever?
Bit of both.
Bit of both?
Yeah, well, when I first got Spotify, I was making my own playlist.
Yeah.
But yeah, nowadays, I'll just like type in, like if I want to listen to, like lately I've been getting really into like the 90s throwbacks, like a bit of Creed, a bit of like the Cranberries and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like I'd just type in 90s and then just like click on a random podcast, a playlist that somebody's done. Yeah.
What about you, D? What did you say you do?
Like I do a bit of both. Like Soph and I always like if we're ever going traveling anywhere, we always make a new playlist.
Yeah. No,
okay.
Rose and I did that as well.
Yeah, it's exciting. Like before you go on a holiday, you plan out your playlist. Yeah.
And you make sure it's like a specific amount of hours and you just set it on a shuffle, but you're not allowed to change it.
Yeah,
that's good,
that's so fun. We did the exact same thing for our road trip, but we did a thing where we did it in blocks where it's like, all right, you pick 100 songs, I'll pick 100 songs, add it, wait till we've got 200, and then we'll do another 50 each, and we'll just keep going till we're done. And then we just had it for the road trip. Was just like
that's cool idea.
That sort of thing.
Yeah,
I do it as well sometimes. Like I remember when I was building the James Bond Lego car.
Yeah.
I went like, I wonder if there's someone made on Spotify a Lego building soundtrack.
Surely they did, right? Yeah. Was it good? Was it good to listen to Lego to? Or was
it was alright. It was like it was only a few songs on it.
Yeah. Okay.
It didn't have the Lego movie songs.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, like specifically made playlists.
Yeah.
I saw online, Barilla, the pasta company.
Okay.
So they've made playlists on Spotify that the songs in them last for the exact amount of time that you're meant to cook that specific pasta for.
That's genius.
So yeah, like the playlist for penne would be like, how long?
8 minutes or whatever.
Yeah. And you'd play it, and then when the song finishes, your pasta's cooked.
That's pretty good.
It's genius.
I do a weird thing. I like listening to the For You playlists. I think Spotify has it like
You think the algorithm's perfect?
Spotify is... I don't have Spotify. Just because I got the Apple Music thing because it was like $5 when you're a uni student or whatever. So I've just kept that.
Yeah.
And all my music's on it. But the Spotify has a way better for you playlist.
Right.
Like I listened to Rose's one and it's like, they're always new good songs. Whereas the Apple ones, like, they're not there yet. They sort of throw you songs you've already heard a million times.
Yeah.
Like they're like the trendy ones in the minute or whatever.
Yeah, like they're not as good. But I do a weird thing where every year, I've just always done it. But my playlist of the year, I'll have the name of the year, so 2013, 2014.
Yeah.
And I'll just, every song I listen to, I add it to my playlist for that year. Not the song was made in that year, just what I like in that year.
What you were listening to at that time.
So then I've got on my iTunes, like, my backlog of all the songs, or what I listen to each year sort of thing. And it's kind of nice to sometimes put on like a 2013, 2014 song, like what I listened to in year 12 and that sort of thing. But
for sure.
But yeah, that was interesting because I was wondering about that. I feel like I've gotten more into pre-made playlists or like than making my own as I've gotten older.
Because I like sometimes like listening to what other people do. Like there's some funny ones. I'm like I was just in an annoying mood in the car, and like I looked up so it's like put on some music. I'm like okay. I typed in soundtracks like most annoying songs to play.
Was it like Cotton Eye Joe?
Yeah, like
just stuff that sticks in your head all the time.
That's what it was. But I played so it was music she liked.
Was she insulted?
No.
I'd be insulted if you typed in like shit music and it's like, I love this song. These are all my favourite songs.
So Kyle, you had found a video recorder.
Yes.
Right, an old one.
Yep.
That has tapes.
Yes.
Which is quite rare these days.
Can I just say those? So I had when I was a kid a they're not even VHS. It's a tiny little tape.
Yeah,
it's like a Samsung video recorder. And I, with my cousin Ty, we used to make like Action Man movies, and we called them like We were really into Team America when we were like 8 or 9.
Yeah,
whenever it came out.
You shouldn't be into that.
We didn't know what half the jokes were, but we made our own like little Action Man Team America movies, and then like at the same time as when I was a kid, Nick. Our roommate's been on the pod. We used to make movies when we were like 8, 9, 10, just with the kids in the court and that sort of thing. And I went to my mum and dad's house with the sole purpose. I'm like, well, basically how it worked was my nan and Pa sold their house like 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, I was thinking about like the memories there, and I'm like, I've got these tapes. I should get these developed before the film just dies. I just want to do it while I'm remembering it.
Yeah.
So I went to my mum's house to look for these tapes, dug up every drawer in the house looking for them, left, and I'm like, I didn't find them, and then came back here. I found my recorder with one tape in it. I'm like, all right, might be enough. Maybe I've only got one tape. I had like 6 or 7 of them.
Yeah.
A week passes, then we have our boys' night. Last night, and we needed another copy of Black Ops, and I thought I'd lent it to my sister, so I went back to look for Black Ops, nowhere to find it, and then Lord behold, in one of the cupboards in a bloody candle box were the tapes, and I'm like, I've spent an hour and a half looking for these, and I found them in like 5 minutes. So. But anyway, sorry, what were you?
No, I was just saying, like, I mean, so you got the tapes, but obviously they need to be developed, right, like onto digital copy or whatever. But the thing, like, that I sort of thought about was, do you think that the people that develop them, like, do they have to watch it?
I don't think so.
I don't think they would care. I think you'd be so...
But would you watch it? Like, if you did that for a job, would you watch the video?
I wouldn't sit and watch the whole thing, but because you got to look at the strips, right?
Yeah.
And then they put it, however they develop it, they have to put in something and make it digital, right? I can't imagine. I imagine they just see what the images are. If it was something like on the film strip ridiculous, like you saw like someone like naked or doing something stupid, I'm sure that would pique your curiosity. But
yeah, like even like back in the day when you had to get your photos developed
at the
like
chemist,
but, like, do you think like that's a lot of trust? Really,
it is
to like put your personal like.
To like someone that's just developing.
Apparently there's a really creepy Robin Williams movie about that. Exactly.
Oh really? About a developer who
like a guy who's like apparently he develops these photos for this family.
Yeah.
But he gets like attached to them, and he
I could definitely see that.
Following their lives. Like he has like all their photos on.
Yeah, well, that's creepy.
Creepy. But
imagine like you see him at like some random public event or something like that, and he comes up to your family, and he's just like. You're chatting away with you or whatever, and then he's just like, "Oh, remember that time you went to blah blah blah?" And you're like, "Hang on, what?"
How do you know I've been there?
Yeah.
But do you reckon you've got any of those old it's like wind up and click cameras that you haven't got developed yet, at like your parents' house, or did you use them much as a kid?
No, not really. Like I only really had I did have a camera that had film.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had most of them developed like already.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I used to have one of them. Like every like birthday or Christmas, I reckon we get one of them, and then the ones that you can take underwater. Like,
They were
you
cool.
can play in the pool with them or whatever.
100%.
That's it. It's called 1 hour photo.
One hour photo. And that's the Robin Williams.
Like
one.
look how creepy he looks.
What's it on? What's its rating on IMDb? Out of curiosity.
Doesn't look that old, does it?
It's got a 6.0 on IMDb, but this one doesn't help us since we watched bloody
Sling Blade.
and it was 95. On Rotten Tomatoes, it's at 82%.
Does that okay? We watched that. We talked about it on the podcast.
Yeah.
That's Sling Blade.
That's still the worst
For
movie I've
those
ever
of you listening, it's a really shitty movie. Has that aged with you? Have you give it anything more looking back on it now? Or do you still give it like a 1 out of 10?
I'd probably still give it a 1 out of 10.
Yeah,
Yeah,
do you?
Yeah, same. Man.
It hasn't
I can't
resonated
see
in
the
any
appeal
way.
to it, yeah.
Neither can I.
Yeah.
1 hour photo.
Yeah, wow.
Well, there you go.
Must watch. That's our homework for this week, boys.
Because I just started in Robin Williams' creepy movie, and that
So I was reading about the Olympics this year. It's
Yeah.
coming up in a few weeks.
It is unbelievably
in-
when you think about it, like the fact that they can hold an Olympics. What is going on in the world right now?
Yeah, well-
like
they have no choice.
No, the committee is in charge, not even Tokyo.
Jeez.
So, yeah.
Tokyo can get sued by the company
Oh.
because they've agreed.
they've agreed to hold it. Yeah,
Because only that company can cancel it.
And they've never cancelled 2 in a row.
gee,
So, yeah, and you the city has no say in it. It's
Yeah.
the Olympics people.
Yeah.
But I was reading something, apparently they're having no spectators, though.
I thought they were having a little one.
Well, I've
they're
read
like vaccinated Tokyo
that possibly,
people.
but they're not
Yeah.
having, like, international
No,
No.
travel, like, it's just the athletes. But I was reading a few really weird things about it. The first thing is that they've got robots that are helping
Robots?
fetch.
It's Tokyo though, dude.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
yeah. They'd be like really like this Olympics would be the perfect chance for Japan just to show like where they're at.
yeah.
Like,
Well, they've got these robot like car things that go and fetch the javelins and the balls. And
no.
stuff. Yeah, I'll
Like
have to show you a picture.
Little RC cars and stuff.
Yeah, and they're made by Toyota.
Of
There's like a
course.
partnership
Yeah.
thing. And then the other really weird thing is that I didn't realize that Japan's like really high on like the greenhouse gas emission thing. Like they're really like all for like clean
Yeah,
energy
clean
and like
energy,
a clean
yeah.
world and stuff.
Yeah.
So they've made all the athletes' village beds. They're all made out of cardboard. And apparently they say that you can't even tell, but all like
All I'm picturing is like literally
like
cardboard
like us
beds.
making one out of like a Bunnings cardboard box. But no, they're fine, and they can hold like 210 kilos or something. And afterwards, they're going to just recycle all of them instead of having like a village. You know how like when
That's
we had it
crazy.
here in Sydney,
Yeah.
they built all the Olympic villages, and then it sort of just became like a ghost town.
Yeah.
And they've tried to like put people in them and stuff. And
It's in Queensland because I drove past it. There's like all those colourful buildings like
It's where like the Commonwealth Games were held or
that's
something.
it.
Yeah.
They were for the Commonwealth Games where they had all them stay
okay,
and like it's all these colourful buildings that you see when you're driving on the freeway. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure
A lot of it now you'd think would just be like a housing commission or something like that.
yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Yeah.
I
they got turned to hotels. Those ones I remember.
Yeah.
The problem is like they're always the village and stuff is always away from the city.
The city,
It's like
yeah.
it's always in like a crappy area where no
Yeah.
one wants to like live long term, you know. But I'm like cities that host the Olympics notoriously like they go down in like revenue years afterwards. Like they lose a shitload of money because of it, and they don't
Because
really
they
recover
spend
for,
so
like-
much on building the facilities.
Yeah.
Like I think Tokyo's like Japan's lost $14 billion because of COVID as well.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah,
like it's wrecked their like amount of money they get and stuff.
The other weird thing was going on like the recycled stuff. All the medals are recycled as well. All the
Jeez.
gold, silver, and bronze medals are made from.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting.
That's good.
It is good, yeah. But yeah, no, it's something a little bit interesting.
Yeah.
Do you have nothing
Dan?
to talk about?
Dan?
Did you know?
I was saying, I'll throw your lifeline then. So Trent, you watched. This is probably the first time we've talked about it publicly, except the one picture we put up. But you had the privilege of watching Johnny Muscles for the first time.
I did have the privilege.
You were the first person who wasn't in it to watch it.
Yes.
Boy, you look disappointed.
No, look.
What point did you fall asleep in?
No, look. Honestly, I mean, I'm not. This isn't this like could be construed as being biased because I am part of Bacon Squash,
Yes.
but it was honestly the best thing we've ever done.
You reckon?
For sure.
Yeah, because I was curious to hear what you thought about it. So for those of you, well, no one would really know, Johnny Muscles, we went into Hopetown and Rainbow. That's what we talked about.
Not Hopetown, South Africa, but
No.
Hopetown, Victoria.
Yes, we're not there yet. And we shot a post-apocalyptic 80s action hero sort of
A
film.
Mad Max ripoff.
Mad Max. I feel like yeah. Mad Max is like the big one, but it's also got like the Rambo feel.
Yeah.
And like just like the jock macho male over the top ridiculous that you're meant to sympathise with. So you thought so Johnny Muscles we're going to bring out in a month or two. It'll be our next big movie.
Because we talked about on the second podcast
When we went away to film it, we talked about. We didn't talk about the film though. I don't think. I don't think. Yeah, we haven't.
So it's been a long time, but it hasn't. It's not our longest in post production, though, is it?
No. A Hard West 2 would be.
Yeah.
That was like
That was 2 years.
But so do you enjoyed watching it?
Loved it. Yeah, excited for the public release. I reckon
Yeah.
it'll be great, so I can watch it again.
Because I was really worried. I was telling you guys last night. The score for the film took me so long to figure out what we were going to do.
Yeah, because you could have gone any way with that.
We didn't know what we were going to do with it.
Yeah.
But we went for a little. It's definitely. Would you say it's like one of the weirder ones we've made? Like in.
No, I feel like it's one of the more like current trend type.
Yeah.
we've
Okay.
made.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you go on Netflix, like, basically everything these days has that same sort of
Post-apocalypse.
synthy soundtrack.
Yeah, like that Stranger Things.
Yeah,
or like that sort of-
very 80s synth.
Yeah, okay. No, well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. And I'm glad you let your voice to be in it for one scene.
Definitely keen on being in the sequel, though.
Yep.
If there is a sequel.
Well, we'll have to see how it's received
How it's
first.
received, that's right.
Speaking of which, I'm shocked that the werewolf movie's done so well. It's growing every day, and I don't know who's watching it, but I'm glad. Like it's
Probably because it's like
werewolf.
one word changed from like
American
American Werewolf in London.
Yeah, I just imagine like it comes up on a playlist for like actual good werewolf movies. Like I watch this because you can see when people drop off, and it's like the title screen. Like, they watch like 2 minutes and they see that and they see me getting mauled by a werewolf, and they're like, "Nah, I'm not watching this." How's your morning brown today, Trent?
My morning brown was a good pick me up, Kyle.
How many thumbs should you give it so far?
I would give it 13.
I'd give it 13.
I need I don't think I could have done this podcast without coffee. Being honestly, how's your day?
Well, I didn't get my orange slices.
You don't drink coffee, do you?
Very rarely.
I was gonna say because otherwise I would have made you one. I just assumed you didn't. Cause
No, it's like
well, he's never done it before.
no, it's
Like,
I only just started like slightly getting a little bit into coffee.
Okay.
Nothing major.
I've got a question because you've just started getting into coffee. What coffee? Wait, what Trent? I'm gonna ask you.
Okay.
What coffee does Dan order?
Oh, I don't.
Wait, don't tell
I don't know
us.
if you'll get it.
What? So Dan is he's never had coffee in his 25 years of life. He's ordering coffee now. What would someone jumping into coffee that late in life get?
Oh,
Wait, is it from a cafe?
no, but I feel like I've been.
Any
I feel like
Okay.
I've been told this before though. So, is it an iced coffee?
Yes.
Oh, you got
Yeah.
iced coffee. Okay, because I was going to go cappuccino. I feel like that's
a stock standard.
That's your gateway coffee.
Or would latte be your gateway? Because latte's a
Yeah.
bit more on the weaker side.
Yeah, and I feel like lattes are popular, and like almond lattes or like skinny lattes.
Caramel or vanilla latte goes alright.
Yeah.
I always get my iced coffee, even if it's cold.
Oh no, I can't do iced coffee.
No,
Really?
I like it.
I don't like cold coffee.
I love a good dare iced coffee even from the supermarket.
Yeah. No, I like the smell when it's warm. You know, it's coming out of like a machine.
Yeah.
But isn't that even? It's not really even coffee, is it?
No.
Like
It's
that-
flavoured milk with like a heap of caffeine in
And
it.
sugar.
Actually, I don't think that even has barely any caffeine in it.
Doesn't it?
No, like it says it does, but I don't think it actually has like caffeine.
And the Mythbuster
There you
here.
go.
Oh wow!
Well, I
Tried watching that show.
what Mythbusters?
Yeah, got bored.
Did they bust myths?
Oh, they just,
Bust myths, bust.
My favourite thing about that show is like when they can't bust it or they've got like leftover explosives or something, so
Yeah.
they just go full like
full explosive.
Well, but we should probably wrap up unless you've got more you want to talk about.
No.
Because Dan's got to go.
Dan has to go.
So you give this coffee a 13 out of 13
Give this coffee a
thumbs up.
13 out of
No,
13.
we do apologise if
A
you're not having
golden
a
thumb.
bed. There's no way we're going to
No,
do it.
but there's nothing wrong with not having a bed.
No, not at all. I think we did fine.
Is this like a thing going like it's alright to have a coffee in the morning?
It is alright
It
to have
is.
a
You
coffee in the
don't
morning. You
need to-
don't have to have a hair of the dog.
You don't need to wake up and start drinking.
No.
Just have a morning brown and
That's it.
enjoy your morning.
Have your
together.
coffee and then have your beer.
Have a nice chat with a couple of your mates in the morning.
Set up a podcast.
Set up a podcast. Go down to one of their rooms and start
and
talking.
record it extremely hungover.
No, I think last night was really nice.
It was
I had a fun
fun.
time.
Since, well, be your dad soon.
Yes,
So.
I will be.
Little
It's
baby
not long now, a
Reardon
couple
will
of
be coming
weeks.
soon. So
So our podcast will come to a screeching halt for a couple of weeks.
we can worry about that in a couple of weeks.
So I guess, well, like, I guess if you don't hear from us for a while, you'll know why.
Well, we've talked. We're gonna plan.
We are going to plan.
We're gonna do a special last episode closer to the baby coming, and then that'll come out, and then we'll have a break. We can't
Is it
work
the end of
Trent to
season
death.
1? Is that what would you call it? Like, is it season
Maybe.
1?
Maybe.
The mid-season finale.
Mid-season.
I feel like if we would do like, would you do a thing where, like, I feel like it's spoiled, but I'll just say it, like mid-season finale, it's like, someone walks in and we go, oh, who's that? And then someone shoots Trent, something like,
While we do a radio play. While we start doing like a scripted narrative every week. Like a drama.
And the killer is, like,
Oh, man.
Who is it?
you have to find out next week.
Well, on that note, you will have to find out next week because we're wrapping up.
We are wrapping up.
So send through anything.
Yes.
Anything. Give us feedback on today's podcast.
On our morning pod.
Please try and keep it positive feedback. We don't like negative feedback.
No. We can't cope with the tears anymore, can we, Dan?
No, not anymore.
As always, take care.
And make sure you're having a bit more potassium in your diet.